If you are a first-time Carnival cruiser thinking about sailing on the Firenze, then you need to watch this ultimate compilation of all the Firenze videos I've made so far. This is the Carnival Firenze, and coming up is a full ship tour of Carnival's newest, most unique ship.
Unique New York.
You need to watch this video for all the ins and outs, so when you finally sail on the Firenze, you are ready to make the most of your vacation, knowing the best spots, which cabin to choose, and even a secret lookout spot for the amazing views of the sunset. Ugh. Fun fact, I wasn't recording. My name is Ruben and I am not a cruise expert, but I play one on TV. I love food and cruising, but even more, I love sharing my food adventures and tips with all of you. So welcome back to my channel. The first part of this full ship tour of the Firenze, Carnival's newest, most unique ship. But let's start with the ship's history. History of the Firenze. The Firenze is Carnival's newest and most unique ship. The Firenze was originally a Costa ship, one of Carnival's sister cruise lines. The Firenze was ordered in 2016 for the Asian market and delivered December 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. Shortly after 2022, Carnival announced its plans to acquire both the Firenze and her sister ship, the Venezia. In early 2024, both ships were given the Carnival makeover and set sail on April 25th, 2024. Before we get to the full ship tour, let's rewind and show you how I got here. And yes, I was sailing solo. Travel and embarkation. Living in San Diego, I love sailing out of Long Beach because I get to drive instead of fly. It was a short drive taking less than 2 hours to get here. I did get to port a little earlier than usual and experienced some traffic getting in. I realized that most people were going to drop off, so instead of dropping my bag off at the porters first, I went straight into the parking lot and brought my bag down to the porters, saving a bunch of time. Pro tip, instead of going straight to the waiting area, turn right to this grass area where you will find a great view of the ship for some photo and social media ops. I've said it before, but I love getting here around 10:30 a.m. to minimize waiting and get on the ship just minutes after people who paid $110 for faster to the fun. Now I have a full day on the ship to maximize my cruising fun. After the walk down the aisle, I was able to walk onto the Firenze for my first time ever. People are right, you never forget your first time. Areas of the ship. To make it easier for you to skip around, I'm going to break down the ship into 6 shared areas. Main atrium, inside food and lounge deck, outside ring, inside entertainment deck, inside Lido, and outside Lido. Main atrium deck 3. When you first get on the Firenze, you enter this beautiful main atrium. This is the cruise ship equivalent to a hotel lobby. The main atrium spans decks 3 to 5. You walk straight into the atrium bar as well as lots of great seating areas. If you have set dining, early or late, your main dining room is this forward or fore dining room, also called the Medici restaurant. On the opposite of the atrium is the Carnival Adventures desk for port excursions. This is on the left side of the ship, which we call port side. On the right side or starboard side of the ship are guest services. In between these areas are the main elevators and stairs. These will be some of the most used elevators on embarkation and disembarkation day. If you walk past the elevators and go up and down the stairs, you will get to Club O2 and Circle C14. Main atrium deck 4. Going up either of these 2 sets of stairs, we get to deck 4 of the main atrium. Here we find the start of some shopping with Dream Studios, the Fun Shops, and Cherry on Top. Take note that unlike hotels, these shops are not open all the time. So you might realize you need a toothbrush or medicine and the shop might not be open. Also check out more of these great seating areas. Main atrium deck 5. Going up one more level, we get to deck 5 of the main atrium. Here we have more fun shops as well as the Cloud9 Salon. On the Firenze, the Cloud9 spa is split into 2. On deck 5, this part of Cloud9 is the salon where you can get your hair did and your nails did.
Hi honey, what you need today? Pedicure, it may look nice, it's so sexy.
Inside food and lounge on deck 5. If we walk towards the aft or back of the ship from the atrium, we get to what I call the inside food and lounge area. The middle area of Deck 5 contains all of the sit-down specialty restaurants. Bonsai Teppanyaki, Bonsai Sushi, El Viaggio, then Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. Check out this video for my full review of all the food on the Firenze. Deck 5 also has a lot of bars. There is this piano bar, Amari bar, Frizzante bar, Tuscan lounge bar, and the Moda bar. I really enjoyed the Amari bar, which is like Carnival's traditional alchemy bar. Nicola was amazing and made all of us some incredible drinks. Thank you, Nicola. A few other things on this deck are 2 more fun shops and the Pixels photo gallery. Italian flair for detail. You might have noticed a lot of the Italian style detailing around this ship. These details definitely look really nice and give the ship a more upscale feeling than your traditional Carnival cruise ship. However, it also makes it feel not like a Carnival ship. Most Carnival cruisers are split and either love or hate these two Costa ships. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Lounges. The 3 lounges on this deck are the Tuscan Lounge, Moto Lounge, and the Terrazza Moto area. The Tuscan Lounge hosts a lot of your smaller indoor activities like craft making and karaoke. Oh, wait, okay, nope, not my turn. All right, there are a lot of great seating areas here. Another bar and this really cool LED screen. The Moto Lounge has more cool looking seating that isn't really too comfortable, but during breakfast, this aft part of the Moto Lounge is restricted only to people who have terrazza cabins. These terrazza cabins are special cabins that give you access to the Moto Lounge for breakfast, but also this outside terrazza area with half of its own bar, this whole outside area with lots of seating and 2 jacuzzis. This area is restricted access only during the day, and it opens up for all us peasants at night. Outside ring. Now that we are outside in this Terrazza Moda area, we are in what I call the outside ring. Other than the top Lido decks, Deck 5 is the other main outdoor area and circles the entire ship. However, some areas like Terrazza are limited to people with those cabins and are restricted to only the people that have wristbands. On both sides of the ship in the aft are these unique Terrazza balcony cabins. What do you think of these? This area is access controlled, but you can walk in and out of your cabin through the balcony. On the starboard side, there is this outside bar and then La Strada Grill. This is only open on lunch for embarkation and sea days. As we move forward, we find outside areas for bonsai sushi, and on the opposite side, Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. Moving forward, there are more cool areas to sit and some great areas to enjoy the fresh air. Getting to the front of the ship is this cool area where you can check out where you're heading and some amazing views. This forward deck goes up 2 more decks and you get some amazing views on all 3 decks. Later on, I will show you my secret spot that no one else knows about. The inside entertainment on Deck 4. Going back inside to the main atrium, let's go forward to Teatro Rosso, or the main theater. You will find all kinds of entertainment and theater shows here. The Teatro Rosso is on both decks 5 and 4 and will kick off what I call the entertainment area. Leaving Teatro Rosso on Deck 4, we will walk through the main atrium and get to the casino. The Firenze actually has 2 main casino areas. The smoking area is this main area here, but tucked away in this little corner is a non-smoking area. In the main smoking casino area, there are a lot of slot machines and table games like blackjack and craps. Walking past the casino, we get to the Heroes Tribute Bar, where they will play sports games like the NFL wildcard games that I got to watch. After the Heroes Bar is the Art Gallery, which also spills into the Limelight Lounge sometimes. The Limelight Lounge is also where they have comedy shows, art shows, nightclub, and some other miscellaneous events. Stairs and elevator. Where do we go next? let's head up to the Lido deck. But to get there, we need to take the stairs or the elevator. There are 3 sets of stairs and elevators to get you up and down. If you do take the elevator, these are the so-called smart elevators where you need to select your desired deck first, then look for the letter corresponding to the elevator that will take you there. Once you get in, there are no buttons, so make sure you only get on the right elevator or else you might get stuck going nowhere like I did on disembarkation day. For the full cluster that was disembarkation, check out this video here. Inside Lido on decks 10 and 11. Now that we have made our way up to deck 10, let's walk through this hallway to what I call the inside area of the Lido deck. The Lido deck is traditionally the outdoor deck of a cruise ship, but on the Firenze, this is unique because it has a retractable glass roof that turns this outside area into an inside area when it is colder and windier outside. On my sailing in January, this retractable roof was closed my entire sailing, even though a couple of days it got pretty decently hot outside. Now, this main area of the Lido deck on deck 10 also has the central Lido pool, seaside theater, Rocco Bar, Java Blue Cafe, Guy's Burger, and Pomodoro. Going upstairs 1 level is deck 11. This has the pergola bar on the port side, this library with books and games, foosball, ping pong, lots of seating areas, and Il Mercato on the starboard side. Check out these cool seating areas that you can hang out. You can even look over the Lido deck or look outside the ship. Back down on deck 10, if we go aft, we enter this huge area for the Lido Marketplace Buffet. There are 2 main buffet areas with 2 serving areas each for a total of 4 that all serve the same buffet food when they are open. Oftentimes, not all 4 are open. The aft buffet is usually less busy when all 4 areas are open, like on embarkation or sea days. There is this center area for desserts, and also this center area with hot dogs and wings. They are an extra charge, but super tasty. Outside Lido deck. If we keep going aft past the buffet, we go outside to the Versila pool and bar, as well as Pizzeria del Capitano, as well as the shacks. For breakfast and lunch, this shack is the chicken shack before switching to the seafood shack mid-afternoon. If this video is helpful, please smash that subscribe button and let the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoy my channel. This will help support me and I would appreciate that so much. If we go up a deck, we can see more seating areas that overlook the pool. Deck 11 also has this sports court. Going up 1 more level, we get to deck 12 and we have even more seating areas. We have this jogging track, mini golf, warehouse, and arcade. We can see the ropes course, which is up on deck 14. Moving more to the center of the ship, we see more seating options on both sides of the ship, and we can see the retractable glass roof to the Lido deck. Going a little bit more forward, we have the Carnival Waterworks water slide. If we go all the way forward and up to deck 15, we get to the Serenity Adults Only area. This has 2 jacuzzis, fresh creations, and this spritz bar. Cloud 9 Spa. This one area did not fit into any of my other categories and is the Cloud 9 Spa on deck 12 forward. This part of Cloud 9 has all the spa services and the gym. Aft main dining room. We can't forget about the other main dining room, or MDR. This is the aft main dining room, or Michelangelo restaurant. This is on decks 3 and 4 in the aft of the ship for anytime dining, breakfast, and tea time. There are several different seating areas here, and they are all incredible, and I spent a lot of time here enjoying the amazing Italian-style decor and food. Cabin. Well, this video is getting too long, so if you want to see all 4 Carnival Firenze cabin types, check out this video here. Secret spot.
You're still here? It's over.
You're still here? Oh, that's right. You want to know where my secret spot is. Well, Christy actually told me about this spot. If you go all the way to the front of deck 9 on the port side, you will see this door that looks like it's off limits. Go through both of these doors and you will be treated to these 2 decks with amazing views from the front of the ship. On deck 9, if you go to either side, the deck extends out a little bit more and makes for some great photo ops. You can see the back of the ship and also see other parts of port, like these amazing views of Cabo. If this video was useful, check out this next video.
Go home.
Just popping in to see how you're doing. From my perspective, you're doing great. Are you nervous about your first cruise on the Carnival, Panorama, Firenze, or Radiance? Don't be, because this is your ultimate guide for sailing out of Long Beach. From parking to boarding, I will show you exactly what to expect and how to plan your cruise with confidence. At the end, I will even show you the one thing you need to avoid when you get on the ship. My name is Ruben and I am not a cruise expert, but I grow my own hair. First things first, when you see Los Angeles on Carnival's website, they really mean Long Beach. That's where this cruise terminal is. So don't let the name fool you. Also, keep your eyes peeled for some hidden ducks in this video. Comment their timestamps below, and if you find them all, you might get a shout out in my next video, like Chris with a C or Chris with a K. The Long Beach Cruise Terminal is about 23 miles from LAX and 12 miles from Long Beach Airport. Super convenient if you are flying in. Remember to fly in the day before. If you are driving, open your map program and type in Carnival Cruise Lines, which is way easier than 213 Windsor Way, Long Beach. Either way, when you are driving here, you will not see any signage for Carnival, which can be very confusing. But don't worry, I will make this easy. Look for anything that says Queen Mary and follow those directions. That will get you here. Now, whether you drive or fly, when you first get to the cruise terminal, you will get to this entrance. For bigger ships like the Panorama, this can be quite a traffic jam. So if you are getting dropped off, turn left here into the Queen Mary parking lot if you are okay walking a little bit. This can shave an hour off of your wait time. If you are driving, follow these lines and do one of 2 things. If you are allowed to park on site, you can skip this line and you can turn left to head straight into the parking lot. Now, if you want to drop your bags off with the porters first and or drop some passengers off, you will need to keep driving and then turn left into either of these 2 lanes. If you are dropping luggage off with the porters, make sure you keep these essential things with you. Your printed boarding pass, the required documentation. Don't worry, I will explain everything you need to know about this later. Also, keep anything else you will need your first few hours on board. I have heard of rare cases of luggage getting lost, so bring with you anything you need just in case something dramatic like this happens. If you are parking at the terminal, there is this huge multi-story parking garage that costs $23 per day. And as of right now, there is no ability or need to make a reservation. You just pay when you leave. Pro tip, look for this big dome on your left-hand side when you are parking. And this corner with stairs and elevator is the closest you're gonna get. If you are sailing on the Panorama, they make everyone park off-site.
What do you mean everyone? Everyone!
Even if you are sailing on the Firenze, I have heard that there are some times when the lot is full and they will make people park off-site as well. But I personally have not experienced that myself. If you are parking off-site after you drop your passengers and bags off, then type in and search for the Long Beach Convention Center, as most of the time that is where you are going to be parking off-site. The entrance to the parking structure is off East Seaside Way, so you can also search for that and look for this road. You go all the way down to the end and turn right. Park your car where they tell you and walk out to the street where a bus will come pick you up. It took me about an hour from first getting to the cruise terminal to getting back there from the bus. So if you are driving, here is your 3-step game plan. Drop off, park, then board. Have your printed boarding pass ready and available, as well as your documentation. Stick with me, I'm gonna break this down. You will need a non-expired government issued ID, as well as either a passport or a birth certificate. Your passport cannot expire within 6 months of your sailing. As of right now, Long Beach only sails to Mexico, but if that ever changes, or if you are going somewhere else, you might need a passport or a permanent resident card, as well as potentially a travel visa. A lot of people are confused right now about the whole real ID thing. To help clarify, as of right now, you do not need a real ID to get on a Carnival cruise. However, you might need one if you are flying. Now, if this video is already helping you out, smash that subscribe button for more Carnival videos from me. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and I will really appreciate it. Before you check in and go through security, if you have a few minutes, check out this area right here to the right of the cruise terminal. It has this area where you get a great view of not only the harbor, but the ship, and it is perfect for some photos to kick off your vacation. Carnival's cruise terminal is this big white dome. You can't miss it. There is also a ton of signage and people directing you where to go. The lines can get crazy long, but there are some bathrooms outside here if you need. If you are Diamond, Platinum, or have Faster to the Fun, there is a separate line that is theoretically faster. Let me know in the comments below when your next Carnival cruise is. And have you sailed out of Long Beach? What are your tips to help other people out? Security is similar to the airport TSA. Remember, Carnival follows federal laws, so no naughty stuff. Once you get through security, you get to this waiting area. There is guest services if you need to talk to someone before you get on board. In the waiting area, I met so many amazing people and fans before my cruise even started. All right, this is Kevin and Charity. Everyone, this is Lindsay and Priscilla.
I'm Del Moose Lodge.
Nicole and Ty. This is Kim and Patrick. Emma.
I'm Taylor.
Jennifer.
Hi.
Jojo. What's your name? Sophia. Christina. There are photo ops to get started because, well, you are officially on vacation. There are also some restrooms here. Pro tip, check out these video games that you could play for free. While you are waiting, take some time to download the Carnival Hub app if you have not already. You are going to need this while you are on board. Also, since you still have phone service, check out this playlist with tours of all the Long Beach Carnival ships so you can get even more excited about the fun that's to come. Usually around 11 a.m., they start calling groups to board the ship.
So at this time, we are now boarding our Diamond guests.
So listen up and wait for your boarding group to be called. The earlier your check-in time, the earlier your group boarding will get called. Once your group gets called, take out your boarding pass to show it to these people here. You can now either take the elevator, which can have quite a wait, or walk up this ramp. When you get to the top, you will join another line to show them your boarding pass one more time. Now, you've made it through security, all the lines, the parking, but get ready for the fun stuff. I'm going to show you the first thing you need to do and the one thing that you need to skip. I know you are super excited to get on board, but take a moment to savor walking down the aisle. There are some great photo opportunities, and you can let the anticipation build. Woo! You are on board! The two things you need to do right away are to go to the muster drill and put your phone in airplane mode. My last sailing, I got so carried away that I forgot my own advice and almost ended up with a crazy cell phone bill. So make sure you do this the minute you get on the ship. If you have Faster to the Fun, you can drop your bags off in the room, but you still have to leave and wait until all the cabins are ready, which is usually around 1 or 1:30. Now, the one thing I never do on embarkation day is go to the Lido buffet because it is crazy. For some better food, check out Guy's Burger or Pig and Anchor Barbecue since they are only open on embarkation and sea days. Oh, you're still here. Here's a bonus duck for you real fans. Now, let's watch this playlist to find out what you want to do when you board the ship. Did you know that there are 4 main cabin types on the Carnival Firenze?
You want to see mine?
The cabin you choose can make or break your cruise. So you need to watch this video before you sail on the Firenze to find out what is the best Carnival cruise cabin for you and the one cabin type you should never book.
Failure.
Welcome to MTV Cribs Cruise Edition.
My name is Ruben and I am not a cruise expert, but I play one on TV. I love cruising and food, but even more, I love sharing my tips and adventures with all of you. Today, we are talking about the 4 Carnival Firenze cabin types and which one is the best for you. If you want a full tour of the Firenze, check out this video first and then come right back. Okay, let's show you all 4 cabin types on the Firenze. Cruise cabins versus hotel. Before we dive into each cabin type, you should know that cruise cabins at sea are very different than any hotel room or Airbnb you can get on land. First of all, cruise cabins are much smaller than even the tiniest hotel room. Firenze cabin sizes range anywhere from 170 all the way up to 275 square feet. Almost all cruise cabins come standard with 2 twin beds that can usually be pushed together to make a king-size bed.
So I went with 2 beds. You can do a single bed or a double bed.
Some cabins, but not all of them, also have fold-down bunk beds and a couch that can be converted to a bed. Some cabins can fit up to 5 people. Pro tip, if you are a family or group of friends trying to cram as many people as you can, think twice and do some math.
I thought I had more space!
On one sailing, it ended up being cheaper to get 2 cabins with 2 people per room than to try to shove 4 people into the same cabin.
There's a safe, there's some drawers. A perk is, especially for mothers that I love, is that they do have a little mini fridge. I put my little wellness shots. So this would be wonderful and great, especially for mothers who are nursing and need to pump. We are more eco-friendly in the room. So you have this key that helps control the lights. So if you give it like 2 minutes without movement, the lights are going to turn off, but my mother's in here. So, oh, this light right here. I don't know if you have this in your room, but this light right here is motion activated, which if you walk past this or near this in the middle of the night, it will turn on so that you can see and not trip over all my stuff while walking to the bathroom.
Okay, let's talk about the 4 types of cruise cabins on the Firenze. Interior cabins. Interior cabins are the economy class cabins of cruising. They have the basics for you to live with 2 twin beds that can be pushed together to make a king. My interior room had 2 separate tables, this cooler, these 2 closets, and a bathroom. There are 3 different interior cabin layouts, and these cabins are always the smallest but least expensive. Interior cabins are all 170 square feet on the Firenze. Ocean view cabins. The second type of cabin are ocean view cabins. These have a little bit bigger cabin at 220 square feet and add a couch that converts to a bed. Balcony cabins. Many people love their balcony cabins with a private balcony for fresh air and even more room. There are 3 kinds of balcony cabins. They are all 185 square feet. The premium balcony has 2 different layouts, and the corner version has the biggest balcony at 75 square feet. Is this video helpful to you so far? If it is, please smash that subscribe button to let the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoy it. This will help support me and my channel, and I would appreciate it. Finally, suites are even bigger at 185 or 275 square feet. The Terrazza Cabana mini suites have balconies that open out to the Terrazza area and have bigger balconies at 100 square feet versus 65 square feet. The Terrazza cabins are special upgrades that you can get for any of the 4 cabin types. These give you special access to the Terrazza area and a few other perks. Have you stayed in a Terrazza cabin? Let me know in the comments below. Guaranteed cabin. The one cabin I never recommend for anyone to get is a guaranteed cabin. This is where you spend less money and let Carnival pick your stateroom for you to save a few bucks. I have heard horror stories when cruise lines overbook and people with a guaranteed cabin get bumped and miss out on their vacation. For more information about all of the different Carnival cruise cabins, as well as how to pick the best cabin location, check out this video here. This is the Carnival Firenze, and we are going to eat our way through almost all of the restaurants before I tell you what I loved and hated about the food on the Firenze.
Then yes.
Fun fact, huh? My name is Ruben, and I am not a cruise expert, but I play one on TV. I love food and cruising, but even more, I love sharing my tips and adventures with all of you. So welcome back to my channel. I'll admit it, cruising for me is really just an extended food fest, and food is my favorite part of cruising. But if you want a full tour of the Firenze first, check out this video here and then come right back, because we are going to eat our way through all the Carnival Firenze restaurants, and I will tell you what I loved and hated about all the food on the Firenze. La Strada Grill. First up is La Strada Grill outside on Deck 5. La Strada is Firenze's Italian version of Guy's Pig and Anchor Barbecue. It is only open on embarkation and sea days and has a different menu each sea day. I did like the Italian meatball hoagie I had on embarkation day, as well as the garlic bread. It was pretty good.
That's what I'm talking about.
I actually wish I went back for a second. I hated the fact that this really isn't a barbecue place. The closest barbecue they had was slow cooked chicken. They didn't have any of the other barbecue stuff you would find at Pig and Anchor. It's really an Italian place that is a lot more similar to La Mercato. La Mercato. Speaking of La Mercato, this is the Italian version of the Lido Marketplace sandwich shop. In addition to the standard hot and cold sandwiches, they also have meatballs and hot dogs. I love the addition of the hot dogs and meatballs, and they were open quite a lot. I hated that they did not have the meatball hoagie that was amazing from La Strada, even though it seemed like they had the same ingredients. Guy's Burger Joint. Guy's Burger. If there were ever an iconic Carnival restaurant, this would be it. Just like the other fast casual restaurants, Firenze's version of Guy's adds 2 Italian twists: the pepperoni pizza burger and the super melty moot. I tried the pizza burger. I loved the addition of the Italian style burger. I hated that the burgers seemed to have lost a little of that Guy's feel, and it just wasn't the same.
No, God!
Pomodoro. This is the Firenze Italian version of the Blue Iguana Cantina, and honestly, I just didn't want to try it out. So let me know in the comments below if you have and what you think. Pizzeria del Capitano. Finally, a Carnival restaurant that did not have to shoehorn itself in to fit the Firenze Italian flair. I loved that they have the same pizza that I've come to love on all Carnival ships.
I like it.
I hated that they close at midnight now. If you want your late night pizza back, make sure you fill out your post-cruise survey and let the beards know so that they will bring it back. Chicken Shack. Okay, so apparently Shack's Big Chicken just doesn't sound Italian enough, so it was renamed to the Chicken Shack. But it carries the same thing. I loved that they had the breakfast biscuit, which I loved, as well as some additional breakfast items. It was also cool for them to reuse the same space to turn the Chicken Shack into the Seafood Shack. I hated that it just felt different without having Shack and his big chicken around. Java Blue Cafe. The Java Blue Cafe is almost the same one you know and love from other Carnival ships. I love the addition of gelato, which was really good, and that it's on the Lido deck. I also hate that it's on the Lido deck, and the design of the space, it really separates the seating space and it makes it less usable than Guy's and Pomodoro. Lido Buffet. The Lido Buffet tastes the same as any other Carnival ship at the buffet. If you were to blindfold yourself and you just ate the food, you would think you were on a Carnival ship eating the buffet. The decor is definitely very different, and there are 2 main buffet areas with 2 buffet serving areas for a total of 4 areas that all serve the same food when they're open. Oftentimes, not all 4 areas are open. The aft buffet is sometimes the only one that's open, or it's the one that's less busy on embarkation and sea day. You have this center area for desserts, and also this other center area with hot dogs and wings, which are an extra charge. I had the Parmesan garlic wings and I loved them. I also loved the different dining areas with great views and the glass and different style tables for all the different kinds of seating arrangements. I also love the hot dogs that you can get and their additional charge wings, which were Chef's Kiss. Well, not to be confused with Chef's Table, but you can watch that review here. It was also nice to have some soda machine. I hated that the buffet isn't open for longer for those in-between times like dinner or post-dinner. This is not unique to the Firenze though. What are your thoughts on the Carnival Firenze food and buffet? Let me know in the comments below. Bonsai sushi. I did not eat here, but I do love how there are so many tables and outside tables as well.
Unagi.
Ooh, you know what? If we made reservations, we could have unagi in about a half hour.
Bonsai teppanyaki. I also did not eat here yet, but I love the 4 big dining areas, and every time I walked by, it looked like people were having a blast. Lunch is also available and less expensive than dinner. Il Viaggio. I also did not try eating here, but this space was really nice and it looked upscale. I love the way this space looks and feels. I hated that the space was too bright for a nice upscale dinner. Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. A much better atmosphere for dinner was Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. If you have watched my Carnival Radiance Fahrenheit review, you know that I was not the biggest fan. But I decided to try it again and wow, I was so surprised and so glad I tried it again. I loved the space and the slightly Italian style version of this Carnival Steakhouse. I hated the fact that my other Fahrenheit experience just wasn't as good as this one. Check out my full review of the Firenze Fahrenheit here. Main dining room. Finally, the main dining room or MDR. I spent most of my time here. I came here for breakfast, dinner, tea time. The Italian flair dining spaces were incredible and so cool to eat in. Dinner just felt more upscale than any other Carnival MDR. Some of the notable dishes that I loved were the crawfish strudel, short rib, creme brulee, barbecue spare rib, and tiramisu. What I hated was that during tea time, we got skipped over a few times and it seemed like they did not have a lot of the other items that I am used to seeing at tea time. Overall rating. Overall, what I loved about the Firenze was that the food was pretty good. What I hated was that a lot of the fast casual dining Carnival is so well known for really lost some of its Carnival magic when it got shoehorned in to fit the Italian-themed pasta ship. Now, if this video was helpful, please subscribe and check out this next video here. This budget cabin feels like cheating because it's like living in a suite for an interior cabin price. The Carnival Firenze ship has a secret that veteran cruisers do not want you to know about. And many of them don't even know about the secret cabins themselves that will get you an automatic free upgrade. What? So don't tell anyone else about. My name is Ruben and I am not a cruise expert, but I'm pretty good at sleeping on couches. Speaking of couches, in order to get a cabin with a couch, you need to upgrade your cabin. But stay tuned because I'm going to explain how you can get this free couch upgrade. Now, before I spill the tea on that, I do want to explain the 4 Carnival cabin styles on the Firenze so you understand why this is such a big deal. Oh, and if you've never been on the Firenze before, check out my full ship tour here. Carnival cabins versus hotel. Before we dive into each cabin type, you should know that cruise cabins at sea are very different than any hotel room or Airbnb you get on land. First of all, cruise cabins are much smaller than even the smallest hotel room. Firenze cabin sizes range from 170 all the way up to 275 square feet. Almost all cruise cabins come standard with 2 twin beds that could usually be pushed together to make a king-size bed. Some cabins, but not all of them, also have fold-down bunk beds and or convertible couches. Some cabins can fit up to 5 people. Boom, 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 boom. Pro tip, if you are a family or a group of friends trying to cram as many people as you think you can, think twice and do some math. On one sailing, it ended up being just as cheap to get 2 cabins with 2 people per cabin than to shove 4 people into the same cabin. Another pro tip is to subscribe to my channel if you want more Carnival Cruise tips, food secrets, and reviews. All cabins, no matter which cabin you get, they all will have the following: 2 twin-size beds that could usually be pushed together to make a king, a bathroom with a sink, toilet, and shower. The Firenze bathrooms just feel so nice and upscale, especially having a shower door and not a flimsy shower curtain. You get a soap bar, and in the shower there's also body wash shampoo combo. This is different from all the other Carnival ships, so you do not get separate shampoo and body wash. So make sure you pack some shampoo and conditioner. Now, check out this video with my 21 must-pack cruise items. Back out in your cabin, you will have at least 1 table with various electrical outlets for both 110 and 220 volt power. Note that there are only outlets at the desk. However, there is a dual USB outlet on only one side of your cabin. That's where having this non-surge protected extension cord came in super handy for me. You also have a cooler that is technically not a refrigerator, but it is pretty handy to keep things cool. In the closets, there is this cool built-in motion activated nightlight that comes in very handy. Oh, and they have these cool life jackets. Let's talk about the 4 types of cruise cabins, starting with the biggest. Suites. Suites are the biggest cabin at 185 and 275 square feet. The Terrazza mini suites have balconies that open out to the Terrazza area and have bigger balconies at 100 square feet versus only 65 square feet. But what's a Terrazza cabin? I'm glad you asked. These Terrazza cabins are special upgrades to any of the 4 cabin types. These give you special access to the Terrazza area. Now, from morning to evening, only Terrazza guests are allowed in this special area, and they give you a few perks like breakfast. However, once it gets to evening, all cruise guests are welcome in this area. Have you stayed in a Terrazza or Havana cabin? Let me know if you think it's worth it in the comments. Balcony cabins. Next smallest are balcony cabins that have a private balcony for fresh air and even more space. There are 3 kinds of balcony cabins, and they are all 185 square feet, but the premium balcony has 2 different layouts, and the corner version has the biggest balcony at 75 square feet. You can also get a Terrazza balcony, which overlooks the stern of the ship and has amazing views. Interior cabins. Let's jump down to the smallest cabins. These are interior cabins, which are the economy class cabins of cruising. There are 3 different interior cabin layouts, and these cabins are always the smallest and least expensive. Interior cabins are 170 square feet. Ocean view cabins. Some interior cabins have a porthole to make them into an ocean view cabin that does not have a balcony. These cabins are also a little bit bigger at 220 square feet and add a couch that converts to a bed. Did you catch that? Normally, you need to upgrade to get an ocean view cabin or better to get a couch. However, if you book these secret cabins that I'm going to tell you about, you automatically get a free couch upgraded. These cabins are awesome. These cabins are cool when you're part of a team. These cabins are really awesome. It's like living in a dream. Before I give away my secret, I want to ask that you smash that like button so that you can promise me that you will not tell anyone else about this secret, because there are only 13 of these cabins on the entire ship that has 2,116 total cabins. I have to say, it was awesome having a couch. Of course, I met friends and they came to hang out and sit on the couch. Enough room for 3 of us to comfortably sit and hang out. I also had room service here. I would lay down for a nap or just hang out, read something and relax. It was awesome. And it was a free upgrade. Anything else that I want to talk about? The other amazing thing about this secret cabin is that because of its square shape, it feels way bigger than your standard interior cabin. It feels even bigger than the larger ocean view cabins and really feels like a suite. For reference, here are some standard interior cabins. You can barely walk around and it feels like you're in a college dorm room with no space. Now, check out these secret square cabins. So much room for activities. It really is like being in a suite for cheap. It makes hanging out in your cabin so much more enjoyable, and personally, I prefer and like interior cabins that get pitch black at night because it helps for amazing sleep for me. So, where are these secret cabins? Well, if you open up a deck plan, look for these square cabins. Now, there are only 16 of them on decks 2 and 6. So, book one of these secret cabins and check out this Firenze playlist. I hope you're learning a lot and enjoying my old hairstyle. What's the absolute best thing you can eat on the Carnival Firenze? I spent $382.22 eating everything from the free spots to every single specialty restaurant, just to rank them from S to D tier. And trust me, some of these rankings will shock you. My name is Ruben, and I am not a cruise or food expert, but I did eat a ton of food with 2 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 5 dinners some days. All for you. Speaking of all of these meals, there are 19 different restaurants and 31 total offerings on board the Firenze. On my latest 4-day cruise, I tried to eat at every single one of them. For you, one night I even ate 5 times. Do you think I got to all 31? Stay to the end to find out. Oh, and yes, there are hidden ducks in this video. Spot them all, drop the timestamp in the comments, and you might even get a shout out like Chris with a C or Ohio Travels with Chris with a K. Now, let's eat our way through the ship. The Carnival Firenze has a great mix of included and specialty dining. Some of them are Italian themed, of course, while others are classic Carnival favorites. Here is every single restaurant we will be ranking in the order that I ate them. Remember, some restaurants have multiple options and I will be ranking all 31 of them. Tomodoro, La Strada, Java Blue, Il Viaggio, Pizzeria del Capitano, Chicken Shack, Chef's Table, The Buffet, El Mercado, Guy's Burger, Swirl, Seafood Shack, Bonsai Sushi, Empanadas, Room Service, Fresh Creations, Bonsai Teppanyaki, the main dining restaurant or MDR, and Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. Here are my 5 rating tier. S, the best of the best. Highly recommend. Do what you can to try this at least once. A is for awesome and amazing. You need to try it out just for yourself to find out. B, pretty good but not quite earth-shattering. If it does not sound appealing to you, then skip it. C is meh. Nothing to write home about. You will not kick yourself if you skip it. D, for definitely skip. This was horrible. Now let's rank them from eh to yes, please. Tomodoro Lunch. This is a free restaurant. Right after the mustard drill, the first place I went to was Tomodoro to check out this Mexican-Italian fusion for lunch. I got a burrito and gave it a C. I didn't finish the whole thing, but stay tuned for later where we will find out if their breakfast is any better. La Strada. For my second lunch, I head down to La Strada because they are only open on embarkation and sea days for lunch. They had some steak, barbecue pork, and some other stuff. They get a solid B. Java Blue. Not wanting my energy to fade, I decided to grab some coffee and ended up getting a Java chip smoothie, which was definitely a good choice. Solid B for this as well. But on an earlier trip, I had the gelato, which was so good that it pushes the average up to an A for sure. Il Viaggio. This is a specialty restaurant where you do have to pay extra for. That night for dinner, I had my first specialty dining on board. The service was amazing. Shout out to Saka and Enrique. I got my free glass of wine because this was embarkation day. The bread was incredible. For appetizer, I had the panzerotti, which was okay and not my favorite. For my main entree, I had this giant pork chop, which was delicious. Dessert was tiramisu, which was super fancy and tasted just as good as it looked. I got a free shot after that and wrapped things up. For a total cost of $42, this was totally worth it and goes into the A tier. Shout out to these amazing ladies who let me join their ladies' night dinner and their cruise. Have you been to El Viaggio? Let me know in the comments below. Pizzeria del Capitano. Having had 4 meals already today, I wasn't sure I can handle more, but I pushed myself to try some of the famous thin slice pizza that so many of you love. If you grade it on a drunk curve, then it gets an A at midnight. But if you have it at any other time, I give it a solid B. Now, off to bed. That was a pretty packed day of eating, but still a lot to go. Do you think I will be able to eat at all 31 places? Tomodoro breakfast. For my first breakfast, I came back to Tomodoro to see if they could redeem themselves with a breakfast burrito. Nope, also a C. Chicken Shack. This first day on Catalina Island, I hiked up to this hidden lookout point. Check out this video if you want in on this secret gem. After working up an appetite, for lunch, I tried out Chicken Shack, which seems eerily similar to Shack's Big Chicken, but wasn't quite the same. While the sandwich scored a pretty solid B, these flat fries were amazing. So overall, lunch gets bumped up to an A. Chef's Table. Chef's Table is pretty legendary for their food, and when I had it on the Radiance, it was amazing. So it had a lot to live up to. We started off with champagne, then 1, 2, 3, 4 appetizers that were all delicious. The combination of flavors were things I had never tasted before. We got a tour of the galley and one of the chefs showed us how to make the famous chocolate melting cake. Back at our tables, we kicked off more food with this crunchy and soft bread that had this amazing honey butter. Then 2 more appetizers before 3 main courses, with the best being this braised wagyu. Dessert was this chocolate forest sphere, and it was incredibly delicious. You could eat everything. Despite every course being tiny, it ended up being a lot of food, and no one else finished everything. I did though. All of these chefs and staff were so incredible. The price is pretty steep at $124 plus 18% gratuities, but this is an incredible experience. You definitely need to try if you like fine dining. Here, all the way. Let me know if you want a longer video showing my full experience at Chef Table and all of the different courses that we had. Midnight Buffet. Even though Chef's Table had me pretty stuffed, I wanted to check out the new Midnight Buffet. While the soup was surprisingly good at a B, everything else was pretty standard buffet or lower. But because this is the only thing open after midnight, this scores a C instead of a D. Midnight Pizza. Oh, and I'm going to try out the midnight pizza and separate it from the buffet separately because it has caused such a controversy. This pizza is different than the pizza you get at Pizzeria del Capitano. It is a thick crust Chicago style pizza, and while it is not as good as Pizzeria del Capitano, I thought it tasted better than I expected, and so it gets a B-. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know a lot of you have strong opinions about the midnight buffet and pizza. Oh man, that was a lot of eating. 10 places down, 21 to go. Only 2 days left. Do you think I could do it? Chicken Shack breakfast. For breakfast, I went to Chicken Shack. They have fresh made omelets and some other breakfast items, which I did not have time to try this time around. I did have the chicken biscuit with hot honey that gets a solid B. La Mercado. As I head into Ensenada for a great massage, let me know if you want me to make a video on some of the other things to do here at Ensenada. I built up quite the appetite and was ready for lunch at La Mercado. I tried the Brout and of course, a Reuben sandwich, a solid B+. Guy's Burger. For my second lunch, I went downstairs to Guy's Burger. It was weird not having them my first day, but hey, I had a packed eating schedule to make this video happen for all of you. I had a plain Jane burger with cheese. Earlier, I grabbed a pretzel bun from La Mercado to make a pretzel burger. Unfortunately, they only had hot dog buns, but I still made it work because I love making this. I also got some honey mustard and garlic aioli sauce from La Mercado for my fries. Even though Guy's is not quite the same as on Carnival ships with the whale tail, they still get an A- here. Swirl. For dessert after lunch, I headed over to the Lido buffet to grab some Swirls ice cream, and this is consistently a solid B. Seafood Shack. Even though it was less than 3 hours since I had my Guy's Burger, my eating schedule had me eating at Seafood Shack for my first dinner. I opted for the crab cake and it did not disappoint. The only reason this does not get an A is because not everyone loves seafood like I do, and it is an extra charge. Seafood Shack gets a solid B+ on paper, but an A- in my heart. Empanadas. Less than 2 hours after Seafood Shack, it was time for my second dinner at the empanada station. I asked them what the most popular item was, and it was the beef picadillo. It wasn't my favorite. Not that the quality was bad, it just wasn't quite for my taste buds. So even though it was not my favorite, they still get a B. Buffet dinner. For dinner number 3, I met up with some friends at the buffet to see if it was better than I expected. While the ribs were a decent B, overall they still get a C because the food is the same as the MDR, but there is much better quality and experience there. Buffet wings. Even though they are in the Lido buffet area, I consider wings separate because you do have to pay. Only $5 got me 6 of these garlic parmesan wings that are so delicious. These score an A tier and you should definitely try them out if you like wings. Bonsai sushi. We came down to sushi and I was surprisingly still hungry. I had some salmon sushi, which was a decent B. We also got a bang bang bonsai roll and tempura roll. The tempura roll was definitely better and we ordered another one. This place is pretty decent and gets a B. Empanadas for dessert. As if I did not already just have 5 dinners and 2 lunches, I thought I would get dessert as well. The dessert empanadas looked pretty good, so I went back to try this Nutella empanada, and they were pretty good. They were really close to scoring an A, but it is not quite a must try, so they only get a B+. Okay, 3 days down and 20 out of 31 places that I've eaten at. But I only have 1 day left and 11 places to eat at. Do you think I'll finish them all? Room service breakfast. In the morning, I woke up early so I could have 2 breakfasts. I started off with room service to get the continental breakfast that is free. It's nothing to write home about, but it is free and it is pretty nice to have breakfast or food delivered to you in bed. C+. C+. C day brunch. Now that I had my appetizer breakfast, it was time for my second real breakfast. C day brunch. If you do not know about C day brunch, this is a hidden gem. They have things like steak and eggs, 12-hour French toast, skillet cake, everything that is a few notches above your standard MDR breakfast, and they get a solid A-. Fresh Creations. For lunch, I knew that I was going to have a ton of food later at Teppanyaki, so I wanted a little teaser for my first lunch, so I went to Fresh Creations up on the Serenity Lounge. You can put together your own salad, and after eating so much heavy and rich food, it can be nice to eat light for a change. The salad itself gets a solid B, but it is pretty disappointing that they are only open for C days. Teppanyaki, my second lunch, and boy, what a lunch it was. Teppanyaki is an all-out experience. If you've ever been to a standard teppanyaki place, this is pretty much the same. We started off with these appetizers, which were an okay B. Same, the salad was still an average B. The show is so fun though, and the chef is awesome. And these waitresses were top notch. The rice was really good at an A, and the filet and lobster were also both solid A. For dessert, we got this dessert box with all kinds of interesting treats. Definitely an A here as well. So overall, Teppanyaki gets a solid A. Main Dining Restaurant, or MDR dinner. Despite Teppanyaki being a late lunch and tons of food, I still had to go to the MDR for dinner. The bread was an okay at a C. Shrimp appetizer was a B. The main entree was braised short rib, which was a solid B+. Overall, the MDR gets a B. Shoot, this was already the last day and I'm out of time. Despite my best efforts in cramming days with 3 lunches, 2 breakfasts, and 5 dinners, I was not able to eat at every option on this trip. However, I was able to eat at every restaurant if you include my last trip. So let's throw in some of the places I ate last time. MDR breakfast. Even though they are not anything to write home about, the MDR breakfast is still better than the buffet. You get a B-. MDR pasta bar. For lunch, you can come to the Medici restaurant for a pasta bar. You can build your own pasta, which is similar to Cucina del Capitano. They get a B- as well. Tea time. At the Michelangelo restaurant on the last C day is tea time from 3 to 4 p.m. Tea time here was not as good as I've had on the Radiance, and I was pretty disappointed. They get a C. Dr. Seuss breakfast. The only option I was not able to actually eat for myself was the Dr. Seuss breakfast, but it does look like so much fun. Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. On my last sailing, I was able to try Fahrenheit, and I made a full video with my experience so you can watch it. The short version is the bread was incredibly amazing. The appetizers were awesome. The ribeye steak was incredible, and the dessert, well, it was so good, I would need a thesaurus just so I don't reuse words that I've already used. Fahrenheit gets an S tier, and I highly recommend coming here. So that is all 19 restaurants and 30 of the 31 eating options on the Carnival Firenze. Let me know which ones are your favorites, and then check out this ultimate playlist compilation on the Firenze. Have you found any ducks yet? Comment below if you have. I was wrong! Carnival Fahrenheit Steakhouse is amazing. If you have watched this channel for a while, you might have seen my earlier review where almost every dish I had was subpar and I wasn't sure I would ever come back again. Boy, I was wrong. I have changed my mind and now think that the steakhouse is amazing. So stay tuned for my full experience. Oysters. My name is Ruben and I am not a cruise expert, but I play one on TV. I love food and cruising, but even more, I love sharing my tips and adventures with all of you. So welcome back to my channel. Because I love eating great steaks on land, it's only natural for me to want a great steak while cruising as well. Spoiler alert, the Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse on the Carnival Firenze is amazing, and you definitely want to book dinner here. This was my first time on the Firenze, and on a whim, I decided I would give this steakhouse another try, and boy, I am so glad I did. Atmosphere. Let me give you a little tour of the space first. Fahrenheit is located on deck 5 next to Bonsai Teppanyaki and across from Bonsai Sushi. The space is separated into a few different areas that all look similar but have a distinct Italian flair that sets it apart from the usual Fahrenheit look on other Carnival ships. The lighting and mood are a little bit dimmer and more sophisticated than El Viaggio next door, and it was great for dining, even though it wasn't great for my video footage. So I apologize for that. Appetizers. For appetizers, I had both the smoked fresh oysters as well as the stuffed mushroom. The smoked oysters came out in this incredibly cool smoker that just looked delicious. Oysters? The oysters tasted just as good as they looked and really are top notch. 9.31 out of 10. Following that up were the stuffed mushrooms that were fancier, more delicious versions of their MDR cousins. 9.21 out of 10. Steak. Last time I chose the spice rubbed prime rib and thought the flavor was all on the surface and not that great. So this time I was excited that they had a cowboy ribeye and it did not disappoint. The steak was cooked perfectly for me and the prime quality meat was incredibly delicious. 9.29 out of 10. Have you eaten at Fahrenheit? Let me know in the comments below if you have and what you think. Dessert. For dessert, I got the chocolate sphere, which is magical. They even wrote happy birthday for me. If you love the MDR chocolate melting cake like I do, this is an upscale version and tastes even better. 9.19 out of 10. Overall, my experience this time was incredible. Every dish was something to write home about. I give the whole experience a 9.31 out of 10, and I have definitely changed my mind about the steakhouse and am excited to eat here again on my next cruise. Now, if this video was helpful, check out this video for my full review of all the food on the Firenze. This is Il Viaggio on the Carnival Firenze. But is it worth $42? Is this an S-tier hidden gem or a big waste of money on a fancy dinner that will disappoint you?
What?
If you are cruising on the Carnival Firenze and you are wondering whether to try out Il Viaggio, my vote is ciao, amici. My name is Ruben and I am not a cruise expert or food expert, and I'm not Italian, but I do know how to use Google Translate. So, you want to know all about Il Viaggio on the Carnival Firenze. But first, you need to know that there are 19 different restaurants and 31 total offerings on board the Firenze. I recently did a 4-day sailing and challenged myself to eat and rank every single restaurant. Do you think I did it? Find out here, but only after you finish watching this video first. Also, stay to the end when I compare Il Viaggio to Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. I actually went to Fahrenheit 555 first and made a full video review that you can check out here. Now that I've tried the steak, let's see what Italian flair Il Viaggio had. We will break it all down, from the food to the service to the ambiance, and whether I think it is worth your hard-earned money. Il Viaggio is in the middle of the ship on deck 5, right by the Frizzante bar. It is a specialty restaurant, so there is a charge of $42 per person plus an automatic 18% gratuity. From the moment I sat down, it just felt special. Not stuffy, but elevated. The ambiance is a level above what you would find in the MDR. While the lighting was great for my videos, I did feel it could have been a little bit darker to set a better mood. Now, Saka was my server and he was amazing. Super friendly, knowledgeable, and helped me pick out my 3-course meal. He knew the menu and made dinner feel like an experience, not just a meal. Oh, and this is Enrique, the restaurant manager. Such a cool guy. Make sure you go say hi to him if you are there. They brought out this warm, fluffy bread with this olive oil dip that was just, oh my gosh, it was something to write home about. I also got a free glass of wine for dining on embarkation day. Nice little bonus. This bread gets an A. Then came the appetizer. I ordered the panzerotti, which were these little fried pockets filled with cheese and sauce. Honestly, they were okay. It's not that it was bad, but if I'm ranking it, I would call it the weakest link in the entire meal. It's not that it had bad quality, it just wasn't really my preference, wasn't really my thing. The Panzerotti, it gets a B-. Next up was a Caesar salad, and I totally forgot about this at first. Well, that's because the salad was pretty unforgettable. It had an amazing presentation and looked like what you would get at a top-tier steakhouse. But taste-wise, there wasn't anything magical about it, and it gets a C+. Now, how did the appetizers here stack up to Fahrenheit 555? Stay tuned to the end to find out. Now, before we get to the main entree, here's a funny story. After dinner, I ran into some fans, Danae and Corinne, and these amazing ladies who let me crash their dinner party. Hi, thanks for letting me join you. It was so much fun. Now this was the star, the main entree, a giant bone-in pork chop that was juicy, tender, and seasoned perfectly. It was plated like something out of a fine dining spot that you would find on land. Now there was fork, tender, melt in your mouth, savory goodness. Some of the pork chop was a little overcooked for my liking, but pork is just so hard to get absolutely perfect. Now the pork chop, that gets an A-. Then for dessert, it rolled in and looked like a masterpiece. I had the tiramisu and wow, it was super fancy looking and it tasted even better than it looked. It had that rich, creamy, coffee-kissed flavor that tiramisu should have. This tiramisu gets an S tier all the way. But right when I thought we were done, surprise! They brought out a free shot to end the night. It was a little sweet, a little strong, and the perfect finish. And no, I did not ask what was in it. I just went with it. Now, that brings me to my comparison with Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. At 555, all of the courses, including the bread, were just beyond top notch. Best of the best. Both of the appetizers I had were incredible. So, Fahrenheit wins the appetizer battle. For the main course and dessert, both come in at a tie. Now, back to El Viaggio. All in all, this dinner cost me $42 plus 18% gratuity. Between the amazing service, the elegant setting, the ambiance, and that pork chop, but that appetizer that I had just wasn't my favorite. That's why Il Viaggio only gets an A tier. With that said, I still highly recommend coming here for you to try it out. Want to see where Il Viaggio ranks against all the other restaurants on the ship? Check out that video right here. Is bonsai teppanyaki on the Carnival Firenze worth $58? Let's find out. My name is Ruben, and I am not a cruise or food expert, but I do know how to spell teppanyaki. Teriyaki? Wednesday. Anywho, you are here to find out about bonsai teppanyaki on Carnival Firenze. But first, you need to know that there are 19 different restaurants and 31 total offerings on board the Firenze. I recently did a 4-day sailing and challenged myself to eat and rank every single restaurant for you. Do you think I did it? Find out here, but only after you finish watching this video first. So for my food challenge, I had to eat at a lot of places. I had to have multiple lunches and dinners to fit everything in. So today, I had my first lunch up at Fresh Creations. And then I came down here to Bonsai Teppanyaki for my second lunch. Stay to the end to find out why I ate lunch here and the bonus tip that will make this video totally worth watching. If you have done teppanyaki on land before, then you know the vibes. Food, fun, fire, and flying shrimp. We kick things off with some appetizers. Nothing crazy, basically standard. I'd give them a C+. The salad, same deal. Nothing mind-blowing. But really, who comes here for the salad?
You don't win friends with salad.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
You come here for these. Well, that and these show. The show is half the fun, right? And our chef? He was a total pro.
Rolling on my griller. Congratulations, it's a boy.
Hilarious, skilled, and had us laughing and clapping. Speaking of which, here are some of the other amazing people I got to have lunch with. Oh, and shout out to our waitress, who was amazing.
It's getting, it's alive.
Okay, now let's talk food. That fried rice? Yes, please. I could eat just the fried rice and walk away happy. Full A.
99 and
But what did I order? The filet and lobster combo.
medium rare and medium rare. More.
Perfectly cooked with great, amazing flavor.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. Laurie the lobster. Sorry, Laurie. Poor Laurie. Hey, where's Nemo? You're dead, Laurie. Laurie the lobster. From Bikini Bottom.
Also an A. Then for dessert, we got this little dessert box, kind of like a sweet bento box. After watching other people dig in first, they told me that some were sweeter and kind of more tart than others, so they gave me the perfect order to eat everything in. I just wish I could remember. Another solid A to finish off this meal. So overall, the food is great. The experience is also amazing. And it is one of the few specialty dining spots where the entertainment is part of the main course. Teppanyaki on Carnival Firenze gets a solid A. So why does it not get an S tier? Because I felt it is basically the same thing you get on land for about the same price. Speaking of pricing, want to know the secret trick? Lunch is the same food and experience, but for less money. Lunch costs $46.02 per person instead of $57.82 per person. So if you want to try out teppanyaki, come for lunch instead. And if you are curious about the rankings of all 19 restaurants and 31 total offerings on board the Firenze, check out that video here. Is the chef's table on Carnival Firenze actually worth $147 per person? Spoiler alert, it is S tier dining, but you will not believe the one reason I recommend to not try it. Wagyu? My name is Ruben, and while I am not a cruise or food expert, I can cook a mean Pop-Tart. So, you want to know all about the Carnival Firenze chef's table? Let me tell you, I was not prepared for how wild this experience would be. This night was full of fun surprises with champagne, 13 courses, and a whole forest made out of chocolate. Stay to the end for my only reason why you would not want to try this. Now, before we dive into my chef's table experience, you need to know that there are 19 different restaurants and 31 total offerings on board the Carnival Firenze. I tried chef's table as part of my 4-day challenge to eat and rank every restaurant on board. So, after watching this video, check out every restaurant ranked on the Carnival Firenze here. The chef's table is not your typical cruise dinner. It is very exclusive. Only a small group of guests are allowed every sailing, while you do not eat in the main dining room or even in a restaurant. And the total experience lasts about 3 hours. First, you meet with your group right by the atrium bar outside the Viaggio main dining restaurant, or MDR. As a group, we walk through the MDR through this secret door into the galley and into this private dining space. It feels like you are about to join some secret food society. Very undercover gourmet. If you know, you know. We kicked off with a glass of champagne and then the food started coming. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one was tiny, but packed with so much flavor. These were not basic shrimp cocktails or sliders. We are talking about amazing flavor combinations that made me stop and say, wait, what was that? For each course, The chef told us exactly what we were having and broke down the flavor combinations just like Chef Madden would on game day.
So this is our first appetizer, cold appetizer, tuna crudo. This, what is there inside, is it with stuffed tuna, and you can see the green dots what are on top is wasabi. So there we go. That's our second canopy is duck cigar stuffed with brie cheese and fig jam and cranberry relish. So please enjoy. So the next canopy what we have in front of you is avocado. It's rolled with stuffed vegetable inside, and the pink sauce what you see on top is beetroot mayo that we make on board. What you see next here is called land and sea. So you open it gradually. We have already smoked it. You can open and you can feel the flavor of the smoke. And the bowl what you see is double lamb, and underneath you see a scallop. And the red thing, pink thing what you see, it is a red wine foam. So just go with one shot so that you can enjoy.
One of them tasted like sushi, ceviche, and a taco had a baby. And yes, I am here for it. Now, all of this was just the reception. I met some incredible people at Chef's Table. Hello. Now, after the reception, we all gathered around the one cooking gallery area where one of the head chefs showed us how they make the famous Carnival chocolate melting cake.
So welcome to pastry. This is the pastry section where we do all the cakes and all the desserts for the crew, for the guests. No matter where you go on the ship, you see any sweet, it is prepared over here. The bakery is right next door. It is closed now because there's a lot of noise there. So we prepare all our breads also from here. So Mr. Shabin, he is a junior sous chef now. He is going to demonstrate to you the Carnival melting chocolate cake. Can anybody guess how many melting chocolate cake do we serve every single day? How many melting chocolate cake do we serve every single day? You're almost there.
Well, there's what, 4,400 on this ship. So.
Yes. So every day, for the first 2 days, it's very busy, and the last day it's very busy. For the first 2 days, we serve almost about 2,800, 2,800. Then it goes down, and on the last day again it's go. Everybody want to have and just go.
Fun fact, I have eaten way too many of these chocolate melting cakes. But now that I've seen the dark magic behind the curtain, well, it's still one of my favorites. Now, seeing behind the curtain is not my reason that you do not want to try out Chef's Table. So make sure you stay to the end when I explain about that.
So welcome to the main galley. This is called the main galley of the kitchen, where all the preps for the entire ship is being done here. We have 1,400 crew on board with 87 different nationality in the whole Carnival ship. So this is the main galley where all the action happens. You can see a lot of noise, people passing by. This is where all the action happens. So basically what you can see on your right, my right hand side is the cold galley, that is called the appetizer, from where all the salads come. All your cold appetizer are coming from there. Then this is called the main galley. This is the center of the kitchen. So here we have two lines. Aft line is for the aft dining room. The forward line is for the forward dining room. The aft line is the YTD, which is open from 5:30 till 9 o'clock. The forward line is open from 5:30 to 7:30, and then it opens from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So this is here all the what action happens. So we plate about 12,000 meals per day. Every single day, 12,000 meals. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. So all that action is happening here all over, all the time, every single day.
Back at the table, we reset with this freshly baked bread.
So the bread what you see in front of you is a laminated bread. It's a brioche dough laminated with butter, 3 folds, and then we sheet it and then we bake it with some little breadcrumb on top. And the butter what you see on the side is a honey glazed butter.
Crispy on the outside, warm and soft on the inside, and it was served with the most ridiculous honey butter I've ever had. Actual chef's kiss.
So this is our first main course. It's lobster our way. So I will explain you. In the bowl what you see, the down is the lobster salad. On top is the lobster jelly. And you see some pearls on top. That's cognac pearls. Okay. Now in the main plate you will see 2 types of potato made from Yukon Gold. This is a regular potato, and the black one. Any guesses what type of potato is that?
Black garlic?
No, it's squealing potato. So on top of the potato you will see a ravioli. And on top, you will see a broiled lobster. So the lobster is made from saffron barbecue sauce, made from white wine and cream. So now the guy will put the consomme in your salad. So mix it and have your salad first, and then you go with your lobster. The next main course, what is there in front of you, is the chef's sampler. So you open it, you can see it is all smoked. You just open the lid. Just open the lid so that you can see. I will explain you all. On the right hand side, what you can see, there is a grape flour. Underneath there is snow crab. On the right hand, on your right side. And in the center you see it's a lemon mousse with cured salmon, beet cured salmon. And on the last side you see it's a beef carpaccio. On down there is a potato pillow. So I recommend you whatever you want to taste it with one bite to get all the flavors. Very important. So the next course, what is there in front of you, is the fish course. So down in the plate you see a dover sole. On top there is a foam, that is cilantro foam. It's made from white wine, sugar, onions. Okay. And this left hand side you see a baby heirloom carrot. And then the right hand side you see the pink one. It's a purple potato. It's made from rice flour and stuffed with parmesan. So before we do this, I will explain you the plate, what is there in your plate. So our next course is our venison, smoked venison. On the plate you can see that we have brushed the chocolate sauce, and the drop what you see is a red cabbage gel. The mesh what you see is the butternut squash mesh, and the potato what you see is cuttlefish creamy potato. So we have smoked the venison with cinnamon flavor, and we will put it in your plate. And once we put in the plate, do not have it, we will put jus on top of it, and then you can have it. Yeah? So ready? So before we proceed with our next course, let's clean our palate. So what you see in the bowl down, green one is apple granita with cucumber, and the small kernels what you see down, orange one, that's orange sorbet. So please enjoy it and clean your palate before we move to the next course.
By itself was already pretty incredible. Even though each course looks tiny on its own, the amount of food was enough that I was the only one who ate everything. Each staff member, every chef, everyone was so kind, so informative, and just really proud of what they were serving. On top of that, they were all so friendly. They were amazing. All of that prepared us for the star of the show.
So back to the food now. So now next crew is your braised Wagyu. So on the plate you have a celery beet, and then on top it's a pumpkin flour. And then on the plate you have your Wagyu, beef Wagyu. On top it's a chipotle onion braised with red wine and vinegar, balsamic vinegar. Now you can see on the side there is a sauce with some bubble. Can you break the bubble please? Pour that sauce over your steak and enjoy.
Wagyu.
Enjoy.
Wagyu.
You're welcome. So now we are in a dessert course. So the plate what you see is chocolate forest. So let me explain you what is there in your plate. You see a dome, it's made from chocolate. Underneath the dome there is lavender mousse. On the side you see chocolate logs, you see mushroom made with meringue. In the green color what you see, it's a basil moss. So now one of our guy is going to put the chocolate sauce on top of it, and then you can have your dessert.
It's part dessert, part magic trick. Oh, and by the way, there was a magician who came halfway through and showed us some amazing magic tricks.
So let me explain what is there in your plate. This is a raspberry cheesecake, and down we have a vanilla wafer. I suggest you have it in one bite. Yes, because the cheesecake is very soft and the cookie is a little bit crunchy, so you'll have a very good combination.
What else do you want to know about Chef's Table? Ask me in the comments. Now, it is $146.32 per person, so it is not cheap. But if you love food, experiences, or just want a fancy night out, it is 100% worth it. Unless you are a basic food person. You are content with a guy's burger or pizza, and you think the MDR is too fancy. If that's you, then the Chef's Table is not for you. and that's totally fine. Now, for everyone else, I'm giving the chef's table on the Carnival Firenze an easy S tier because this is the best of the best, and you should do what you can to try it out. Now, the one thing I will say is that I did prefer the food a little bit more on the Carnival Radiance's chef table. Are you cruising to Catalina Island with Carnival on the Radiance, Firenze, or Panorama? Do not waste your money on overpriced excursions. I'm going to show you the best free thing to do that's only minutes from the ship, and it ends with dessert. My name is Ruben, and I am not a cruise expert, but I approve this message. Have you been to Catalina Island before? Comment below what is your favorite thing to do and let us know if this is your first time or if you're planning your first cruise. This 15-minute walk is a must do when you stop at Catalina Island. So put on your walking shoes as we hike to the best lookout spot on the island. Also, keep your eyes peeled for hidden ducks along the way. Comment below with their timestamps, and if you find all of them, you might get a shout out. At various points in the video will be opportunities for you to choose your own adventure. Let the video play to follow the detours, or skip ahead to the chapter marker if you want to get to the lookout spot as fast as you can. To get to Catalina Island from your cruise ship, you are going to take a tender boat. Go down to deck 1 and wait in line to get on the boat. When you arrive at Avalon, walk up the walkway to the top of the pier ramp and turn right. Don't worry, I am going to give you turn-by-turn, step-by-step directions, so when you get here, you will know exactly where to go. Walk all the way down this strip and turn right when you get to the start of this downtown area. Once you are on the boardwalk, you are going to keep walking past all of these shops on your left. Now don't worry, we're going to come back. There are some great restaurants and shops here that we will stop by on the way back. Keep walking, and when you get to this intersection is our first Choose Your Own Adventure. As we keep going, we find this little shopping complex. There is this coffee shop that my friends and I found while we stayed on the island for a week. They have some good coffee and some nice pastries. Now let's go back and we will keep walking until this street splits into 3 options. The middle option takes us up this hill towards the lookout spot, but let's take the far right option and check out this other free lookout spot at the casino. Keep walking down this walkway and you will see this huge round building that's called the casino, but there's no casino in it. On the ocean side, there are some great views here, and you can even see your cruise ship. Now, if you keep walking down, you get to the Descanso Beach Club, where sometimes you can even see deer. But let's get back on track and head back to the road where it splits and take the middle option and head uphill. When you get to the end and the street turns left, go straight and take these stairs all the way up. This is a great time to take a break and check out the amazing view. Continue climbing these stairs until you get to this dead end where you see this black gate. Then turn left and get ready for an even steeper set of stairs. Whew. All right, let's keep going. Man, so many stairs. There's a few twists and turns here, but that's okay. Keep going. Don't forget to take some breaks to check out your progress and see the amazing views as they start getting better and better. Oh, and speaking of breaks, did you catch the ducks that I've been sprinkling into the video? Shout out to both Chris's, Chris with a C and Chris with a K. Chris with a K has her own YouTube channel, Ohio Travels with Chris. Go check her out. When we get to the top, it looks like we are walking through someone's driveway alley. Don't worry, keep walking until you see this area and turn to your left to check out this nice view. This is Avalon. Okay, back to the hike. Keep walking and curve right while heading downhill. When you get to the end, turn left and walk down this road until it dead ends at the T. Look out for traffic and then turn right to start heading uphill again. From here, we will be walking up and on a roadway, so watch out for both cars and golf carts. Straight in front of you is this bench. We are going to take a water break. We're going to come here, chill, sit down, and take a water break. Okay, let's get back at it. Follow the road and keep winding upwards. When you get to this T intersection, keep going straight past the do not enter sign. In front of you is the Zane Grey Pueblo Hotel, and here you turn right. As you round the corner to turn left, check out this house on the hill. Wouldn't this be a sweet place to live? Keep an eye out for golf carts and keep going up. You can start seeing some great views of the cruise ship here. You're doing great. Stay with me. We will get there. And remember, the end is going to be amazing. This hike ends with amazing views and the best ice cream on the island. Up here on the right is the Chimes Tower of Avalon. Quick explanation. Catalina Island is the name of the entire island, and Avalon is the incorporated city where most of the tourists hang out and where you come either from a cruise ship or you can come here from Los Angeles. Now, if this video has already been fun and helpful, please smash that subscribe button, as it really helps the YouTube algorithm, and you will also get more Carnival videos coming your way. When you get to the top and see this fence, sneak past it and make your way out to the lookout point and rejoice because you are here. To the left, you can see out into the ocean and more of Catalina Island, but to the right is where you get this amazing view of the city of Avalon. Now, before you head back to the ship, do not miss stopping at Sailor's Delight. This is a hidden gem and has the best ice cream on the entire island. It's better than swirls. Now that you have seen Catalina's best free secret, find out if I got ripped off or if I had the best time ever on this $76 Cabo excursion. Are you not sure which Cabo excursion to book? Check out this full review of the Tropical Tours excursion, Discover the Wonders of Cabo by Land and Sea. Booking through Carnival. Before we dive into the excursion review, I do want to share how I booked by excursion because something really interesting happened that you do not always hear about. I was sailing on the Carnival Firenze for the first time and going to Cabo for my first time. So I wanted an excursion to check out all the touristy stops and get some great footage for my Firenze videos. You can check out the whole playlist here. I decided to book through Carnival and oh boy, was I glad I did. First of all, our port day switched. So the day we were supposed to be in Cabo got swapped to a different day. Then our port times also changed. Initially it was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., but that got changed to 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. While other people who booked excursions on their own had to scramble, I did not have to lift a finger and everything was changed for me and I just had to show up. I really liked that. So I am glad that I booked through Carnival. I paid $75.99 even though I know you can save a few bucks booking it yourself. Okay, this might sound like an ad, but I did not get paid any money for this video. I paid for the entire cruise and the excursion with my own money. But hey, if you want to sponsor me, let me know. Meeting point. One more nice thing about getting an excursion through Carnival is that we met on the cruise ship first and boarded onto the tender boats by group. We all stayed together and we got to shore even faster than all the peasants. Arch cruise. The first thing we did was take a boat out to see the tip of the famous Land's Arch, the southernmost tip of Baja California. We had some amazing views of the arch, Cabo's coastline, and even our ship. Note that the tour description says that you take a catamaran, but we were on a regular boat, which I was totally fine with. And I thought was nicer because you can actually walk back and forth and get some different views. Clifftop view. When we got back to land, we started the tour bus portion, and the first stop was the Sunset Mona Lisa on top of Cabo Bella. We had some amazing panoramic views on the entire bay. Our tour guide was Armando, and he was amazing. He was super friendly, engaging, and knowledgeable.
Hello.
Make sure you come, make sure you give him a good tip too.
Okay. Very good.
San Jose. We took a 20-minute drive east to San Jose, the neighboring city to Cabo, and Armando told us some fun facts on the way. Lunch is not provided with this tour, but you do have a chance to eat lunch while you are in San Jose, and Armando recommended Jasmine, which was pretty good, but a little overpriced. It does have this really cool space and area, and the staff was very friendly. I still recommend it. San Jose shopping. Our next stop was just a few minutes away for more tourist shopping. I decided to pass on shopping and instead got a 10-minute massage at Soleil Spa because the owner was so nice, she did not even charge me and just had me tip. Glass Blowing Factory. Our last stop was the Glass Blowing Factory, where we got to watch a master glass blower do his thing and make this really cool turtle. Back to the ship. With about an hour before all aboard, the line to get on the tender boats was crazy long, and it took about 20 minutes just waiting in line to get back to the ship. Pro tip, know what time it is, because Cabo time is different than ship time, and that confused a lot of people. My opinion, I thought this excursion was a good value for the money, even booking through Carnival. The arch cruise to see the Land's End Arch was really cool, getting you a little closer to the arch than you get from the cruise ship. The clifftop view was spectacular. Everything else was meh. And if there was an excursion that did only the first two things, I would recommend that in a heartbeat. If you want to get some great views of Cabo, I highly recommend this tour. However, if this is your only stop in Cabo, you will get almost as good a view of the arch from the cruise ship and not spend your whole day on a bus doing things that you might not want to do. Whatever you do, make sure you check out this next video.
Bye.
This is the Carnival Firenze, and I'm going to share the good, the bad, and the surprising horror from my first time sailing on the Firenze. I'm going to review the ship as a whole and then give you my recommendation if you should try her out. My name is Ruben, and I am not a cruise expert, but I play one on TV. I love food and cruising, but even more, I love sharing my tips and adventures with all of you. So welcome back to my channel. If you want a full tour of the Firenze first, check out this video here and then come right back. Okay, so what was the good, bad, and horrible about the Carnival Firenze? The good. The Firenze is beautiful in its design and decor. If this was your first cruise ever, or even your first cruise on Carnival, you will not be disappointed. It feels like you are on a decently nice cruise ship. Maybe not a premium cruise line, but definitely better than your standard Carnival ship. It just feels nice and doesn't have the tacky decor that you are used to with Carnival. Overall, what I loved about the Firenze was that the food was pretty good. The bad. With that said, if you are a die-hard Carnival fan, you might actually hate it. Carnival cruisers seem to either love or hate the Firenze. Those fans who hate it don't like being on the Firenze because it just feels different. It doesn't feel like home like you do on other Carnival ships. It feels weird when you look up and you don't see that whale tail or the tacky Carnival styling that we are used to. The fast casual food had a lot of things where they were just shoehorned in to fit the Italian style theme and to fit the Costa decor, but really felt out of place, and it just wasn't the same. The horrible. What was shockingly horrible was this disaster that happened on my first sailing of the Firenze. This was a cluster that just pissed almost everyone off. I am actually really surprised that this has not made bigger news and no one seems to be talking about this. The gangway broke, which I later found out happens quite a lot more than it should. None of the crew seemed to know what to do or what was going on. We had almost zero communication via announcements and received conflicting information from the crew what we should do and where we should go. First, we were told to go to deck 0, but not to use the stairs. Then the crew wasn't sure if deck 0 was actually working or not, so people were in limbo, didn't know where to go because we got routed around so much. Some of us stayed on deck 3, and the line started to move, so we stayed. I got to 5 people away from disembarking, and then they had to close the line again. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. Finally, we were told to go down to deck 0 like initially, but that we had to use the elevators and not the stairs. So almost 2.5 hours later, I got off the ship around 11. Some people had an 11 o'clock flight, and I'm pretty sure they missed it. Have you sailed on the Firenze or Panorama out of Long Beach and had this delay happen to you? Let me know in the comments below. For me, I think that I am one of the few that is kind of in the middle. There are some things that I love about the ship even more than other Carnival ships, but there are other things that I miss when I just want to feel like it's Carnival. I will probably sail on the Firenze again, but we'll go in with the mindset that I'm going on a cruise, not a Carnival cruise. Wow, you did it. Now check out this ultimate panorama playlist.